Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to our September edition of Monthly Collaboration. This is a year-long collaboration that I'm doing with ColieBing here on YouTube, and we create a page that represents what we're celebrating for that specific month. I've decided for this month, since it's September, to do a back-to-school type of layout, and I have 5 pictures here of my 2 oldest that are, these was actually taken, let me see. This one was 2016, so my daughter was going into 5th grade. These are her pictures. She is very silly sometimes when I take pictures of her. And then my oldest son was going into 8th grade, and so these were his pictures when he on his first day of school. And so I have 5 4x6 photos that I'm going to scrap, and then I have this whole set from Jelly Bean Soup that is all about, it's all school themed, that I decided to pull. So I'm not even gonna try to pull out any other manufacturer. I'm just gonna focus on this particular kit, which I thought would be, you know, sometimes it's good to just focus on just one manufacturer, because you know that their products all blend together, they all match, they work well together. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully that it will work. So let me just show you some of the things that is in this particular kit. It has wood confetti, and it's interesting how it says here it's Hampton Art, but I think that they have teamed up with Jelly Bean for this one. It's a very thick wood veneer, so this should be fun. And then I have this pea pod parts. It's die cut cardstock from the same line. Let me see what the name of the line is, if I can find it. It's called Alphabet Soup 2. So if in case you're wondering what kind of, or what is the name of this collection, it's Alphabet Soup 2. It has a lot of back to school or school themed cardstock die cuts here, so I thought that would be good. And as you can see, I've used up this stash already for another page, but I've just kept them all together so that I won't lose any of them. And then it has some sticker sheets, again, that has a school theme, and then just a bunch of papers that I plan on using, sprinkling on my 2-page layout. So if this is your very first time watching my monthly celebration video, like I said, I team up with Nicole, which is ColieBing here on YouTube, and then we create a page. I have been creating 2-page layouts for this particular series, and I include a sketch, and the sketch can be found in my blog, and the blog link will be down in the description below. So I'm just showing you all the papers that came with the kit that hasn't been cut apart yet. This book is really cool. I love that one. I love this numbers too. So I'm excited to work on this page, and so follow along and watch me create this layout. All right, so I have kind of pre-planned everything that I wanted, basically cut everything apart that I had wanted and where I wanted it to go, but I haven't adhered anything. So here I'm going to add a little bit of trimming in between some of those papers, because I feel like when you just adhere the papers on top of each other or next to each other, it just feels kind of very strong, that you can see the differences between the lines. And so I like to connect them with some kind of trim, and I'm using my favorite Fiskars scallop punch for that, and I punched out some scallop strips using my using green cardstock. So here I'm just measuring it, because I knew that part of this paper, this background paper, the stars that I'm adhering, part of that will be covered because of these other smaller strips of paper. So I didn't want to kind of waste the paper, and make sure that I measured it out, so I know that to cut just enough which would be showing onto the layout. So here I am adhering the green strip onto that paper. And I love that the outer space, or the design on this star paper, but I felt like the star really fit the school theme that I'm working on. And so that's why I decided to go with that side of the paper.
And plus the orbit or the solar system, I should say, paper just seemed very busy that it'll be hard for me to work it onto this double page layout. So I've cut those strips from the one paper that has just all of the half-inch strips of paper, and I cut two of them, and that's gonna go there. One says first day of school, which fit properly with my theme, and that's gonna be the background of my left page. Then I'm trimming this up. I like to leave a 1/4 inch on all of my pattern papers because I want the white of the background cardstock to show. So that's why I like to just cut it a little bit. It just, for me, visually, it creates a frame around my page that is pleasing to my eye particularly. I mean, some people like to go edge to edge, and that's totally fine, but I know I like the frame. That makes me happy. What can I say? So now that I have this blocks of paper together, I wanted to measure this pattern paper because of course I wanted to save the other side, knowing if I know that part of it will be covered by another piece. So I measured it, and that's what I'm cutting here. And I'm going to adhere that to the top and then cover it. This way I can extend my pattern paper a little bit more, and also that I'm not wasting any piece, knowing that it's going to be covered anyway. So that's my background right there, and I've decided to kind of separate my pictures. So on my left side it will be my daughters, and on the right side it will be my son. And I did use the notebook paper and cut out 2 circles from it, and that's going to be their title. Now, I kind of debated if I wanted these photos to, because each of my kids have their own albums, and so I debated if I wanted, one page for my daughter and then one page for my son. But since these are the only school papers that I had printed, and I was doing school themed for this month's monthly celebration, I decided to do a double page spread. Now, if in the future I want to actually use these and separate them and put them in the different albums in the individual albums of my kids, then I can totally do that because I have kind of a little subtitle for each of their first days. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to share with you all in case you guys have always wanted to do double page, but then you're worried that you're gonna have to end up splitting them or whatever the case may be. That is what that's what I would do if in case I wanted to split them later on. So I am putting a kind of a block of title for the whole entire double page spread, and that's going to go on the top, connecting those 2 pages together. I did ink up the edges of these circles just so that it will stand out against all of the busy papers that's in the back. And so I'm working with 5 photos here, and these are all just phone photos, so they're not the best quality, but I love being able to have access to, capturing the moments when they're there without having to lug my big camera. I feel very blessed to live in a time where we have these kinds of technologies. So these photos of my son are photos of his first day of 8th grade, and then my daughter's first day of 5th grade. And these are also their last, so this was the first day of my son's last year in middle school, and then my daughter's first day of her last year of elementary. So time flies so fast. I remember when my kids were still little, and I would take them to a mommy and me preschool, and they were just so little, and then now they're grown up and doing their own things and having their own personalities. It's fun, but sometimes it could be challenging as well. I know a lot of mothers can relate to that feeling. So I'm just finishing off. I did trim up this 4x6 horizontal photo of my daughter and then made into a square, a 4x4 square, because I wanted to have enough space for that circle, for me to have enough space in the circle to add whatever I needed to add. And so I just used the ColieBing blue chipboard letter package that also had numbers, and that's what I'm going to spell fifth and eighth. And that the letter pack that I've used here would also be the letter pack that I'm going to be using to pull both of these layouts together and create my title that goes in the top circle. So I hope that you guys have been enjoying this series. It's been fun. I have really enjoyed this. It has helped me to think about the events in the yearly events that my family and I have, and also how to document them better. And I love that I'm able to create some new sketches because of um, this collaboration that I'm doing with Nicole. So now I'm going to be adhering some accents, and I pulled out the sticker sheet from Jelly Bean Soup as well. And then I'm adhering some of them just onto right straight onto the layout, and others I'm adhering with some foam adhesive. The fun thing about using fun foam with stickers is that since one side of the fun foam already has adhesive, I just add the side that does not have adhesive onto the back side of the sticker since it has the adhesive in there. And so it allows me to not waste too much adhesive. And so now I'm pulling some of that ephemera pack or die cut pack, and I decided to pull it out and put it on top of the backside of a white paper, just so I can, like when I rummage through it, I can see them without the very busy background being in the way of me really seeing the designs. And so the circles for each of my kids were a little bit plain, and so I decided that these die cuts will help kind of bring some design to that. And then I also wanted to add some more designs, of course, onto that title piece, but I didn't want it a very bold design. I didn't want the books or the any of that objects because of the title. Now my video did cut off again, and so but here are the close-ups, and I hope that you guys like it. I will see you guys again next month. Bye.